So this is very similar to 3.1 where we were finding the like terms and we were circling it. You can still do that, but I'm also going to show you another method that my first period said was a little bit easier to them. But you can only do this really when you have linear expression. Well, what is a linear expression? All you need to know for now, these are examples of linear expressions right here. They do not have exponents. They have an exponent of 1. They're just invisible. Look at these non-linear ones. What do they all have? Exponents. Okay? This really comes into play like next year in 9th grade and 10th grade math, because you can actually put these on a graph and you can graph them. And they're going to make straight lines. Okay? These right here with variables, they're going to make like what we call parabolas. They're going to make some of these curvy lines and things like that. These make a line. These are not a line. But you really don't have to know a whole lot of that for this year. I'm just showing it to you. Okay? So we can add and subtract to make these simplified. Because remember yesterday we talked about, or actually Monday we talked about how simplest form is when there's no parentheses and no like terms. Well, right now we have parentheses and we have like terms. So we're going to get rid of them. What's happening between the two expressions? What operation's happening? Add. So we're going to kind of make it look like an addition problem where you know how like you could stack your numbers on top of each other and make an addition problem? Yes. We're going to do that here. So I'm going to take my first term, my first expression, x, I'm going to put some space between it, minus 2. And I'm going to stack that second expression up underneath it. But I have to make sure that my x's are with my x's and my constants are with my constants. Okay? So here I'm going to put my 3x plus 8. And I'm going to add them because this is an addition problem. Now, to kind of keep things separated so that I can kind of see it easier, I'm going to make it into categories. Do you see like this is my constants and this is my variable section? You see that?
Yes.
Okay, now I can just add. I've got negative 2 plus positive 8. So in my calculator, I'm going to put negative 2 plus positive 8. And that's what is that going to give me?
Negative 2.
Nope. 6. Should give me 6. Positive or negative?
Positive.
So because it's positive, I'm going to put plus 6.
Why is it positive? Somebody tell me why. Not just because I put it in my calculator and it worked out.
Because the 8 positive and
Make it an 8.
Good job, fellas. Okay? This is not just an x, it's a 1x. So I'm going to put a 1 there. And now I have 1x plus 3x. Well, what's 1 plus 3?
4.
So I have 4x. Can I put 4x plus 6 together? Are they in the same category? Are they on the same side?
No.
No, so that's as low as I can go. This is my answer. Okay? Let's try B. Let's pay attention. Circle. What operation are we doing? Add. Because we're not always going to be doing adding. Sometimes there's going to be some subtraction. So we got to pay attention to that. So I'm going to set it up. We got negative 4y plus 3. I'm going to kind of stretch it out. Y'all like to stretch everything up next to each other. It's hard to read things. Spread it out. I gave you the space. 11y minus 5. And we're adding it. I'm going to separate it so everything's all nice and neat. And then it's just regular math. Positive 3 plus negative 5. So in my calculator, I'm going to put 3. 3 plus negative 5.
Negative 2.
Negative 2. Then I have negative 4 plus 11.
7. Positive 7.
Positive 7, but what else do I have to bring down with it?
Wow.
That y. It's kind of like the decimal, like, you know, when you're adding decimals and you have to bring your decimal point down. It's kind of what that's like. That's your answer. Can we put those two things together? What's your question?
We teach you how to read.
Huh? Because it's negative 5 up here. I took this part right here, this one, and I moved it right down there, down at the bottom. I just copied it down at the bottom. So then I went 3 plus negative 5. Does that make sense? You got it now? Alright, I want y'all to try number 1. Try number 1. Pay attention. What operation is it? Adding. You're going to stack it on top. You got to write this out. Don't do it in your head. I'm going to separate it. Alright, I did 3 plus negative 1 gives me 2. Positive 2, so I'm going to put that plus 2 there. It's not just x, it's 1x. Okay, so I'm going to put that 1 there. So 1x plus 2x gives me... Am I done? Okay? That's my answer. Alright, try number 2.
Yeah, there's that.
When I stack it up, I've got negative 8z plus 4, and then 8z minus 7. You separate it. Alright, positive 4 plus negative 7.
Negative 3.
Negative 3. Negative 8 plus 8.
0 Z.
0z. Do I need this 0z? No, because anything times 0 is what? 0, which means it's nothing. So basically this cancels out, so my real answer is just, it's just negative 3. Could I leave it 0z minus 3? You could. It equals the same thing, but that 0z just equals 0, so we don't even really need it.
What do we call like that negative 8z and that positive 8z? What do we call that? We have a definition, or a couple definitions, a couple vocabulary words. 0 pairs, and what else?
You got it? You were saying it? Additive inverse. Very good. Alright, number 3, they try to be tricky. Okay, so we have to pay attention to their trickiness. So, what operation are we dealing with? Okay, so I got 4.5 minus n plus It's not in the same order. Can I do this? Can I do that? This has an N and this doesn't. This doesn't have an N and this does.
You gotta put the six.
You gotta put
You
So what are we gonna have to do?
You gotta put the six mark up under the 4 point.
We gotta swap it. That's the one thing you're gonna have to pay attention to is everything's in the right box or the right category. So all I have to do is just swap it. Now I do have to pay attention. This is not just 10N, it's negative 10N, and this is positive 6.5. Now are they in the right categories?
Yes, they are now.
Yes. So can we do it?
Yes.
Yes.
Put a 1.
Put a 1 in front of that N. So I've got negative 1 plus negative 10, which is going to give me
Negative 11.
negative 11 N. Don't forget your N.
Then you calculate to figure out what 4.5 plus 6.5 is.
11. Just.
Alright, so, or if you did it opposite, yours may be written as negative 11N plus 11. Is that how you wrote yours? They're both the same. It doesn't matter. It could be this, or it could be this. Either way. The second way is actually the preferred way by math, because they want your coefficient and your variable at the front and your constant at the back. All right, setup number 4. It's the same way, it's just there's a fraction. And guess what? Your calculators do fractions. So you shouldn't have to freak out about it.
Oh.
Let me see. It's a form, so you do what? So, let's just break it down. What's the one for the W? Yeah. 1/2 W. Alright, it's positive. And 1/2 1/4. Yeah, those together. So just do 1/2 plus 1/4.
Negative 3 plus 3.
What you got? What'd you go here? Okay, so your answer is what's that? And what's this right here? What's this right here?
Okay.
So you went 3/4 W0?
This is the 14. Alright, you should have
Do
gotten,
two different separate things. We have what? Either plus or minus in the form. But do we need to pay attention to the 0?
you should have gotten 3/4 W. So on the back,
What?
or on the next page, I want you to do 10 through 14. Try 10 through 14. Pay attention, make sure they don't try to trick
I
you.
would leave it just 3/4 W. I would leave this 3/4 W. You ain't got to put 0. To be sure. If you ever have anything 0, like this, I would say 0Z, you could have it, but do we need it? a piece of pizza, yes.
Extra writing that stands for this one.
So put a 1 in front of it if it has just a letter.
So, you got a +8, you got a -1. Okay? Are they the same signs or are they different signs we usually do, what? Or not usually always? Alright, so hang on, you gotta think about this. So you can't add, you can't add in a minus sign.
Oh.
So what you got here, +8, we can't add anything in, so just take what we have. We have a +8, if you want to add positive, you can. That -12. That's what we have.
Positive,
Okay. If we add in a minus, it changes what we have. Now, if there was a minus there, you have to just clear it. You know, think about like on a number line, okay? Remember all these like positives, negatives, and these, some of you cancel out, you only have to put a -4, but. Yeah. Hey. So.
Keep going.
Why aren't you, that is,
Look, I am what my
So
stuff says.
these,
What's your stuff say? Everybody else is doing. Because this is wrong.
and look, you paid attention to the trickery, good job. You understand. Yes, you do.
Go with these.
okay, we still write these down, how we did, remember how we
This
kind of
is
wrote
a
down?
B, so we just put a
This is a 7,
1,
that's
so
a
you got
negative,
-1.
that's a positive
Plus.
B, and that's a positive C. Okay, that's how you write it. When you write it,
It's -1,
you need to do 7, minus 2. Over here is
so it would be
3B, over here is going to be a positive.
2.
You want the positive side, nothing else, nothing else.
I just want
It looks something like that. Just split them up. Why? Because this is going to be. That, this one is fine, too, it's swapped
The
out.
only thing on this one is you forgot to drop your. You forgot to drop your.
Make sense?
In here. I have to take the negative with it, so it's minus a B, so it's negative. So it was right there, -1 plus 3.
That's that.
Is that easy?
Alright, so what do we do on the others? That we did, last time. So let's go back and look at those. We could compare. We could take what we compared, here. So what we did, we took, look over here, we took, negative was over here. Negative was over here. Now here we had 3x, we took 3x over here with others. And the 8 was right over here. So, looks like we're gonna write it down. Try it out.
Here.
So this one.
Alright,
Again,
let's check these, make sure we're all on the same page. From what I've seen, I think we are. We should have gotten 2n minus 4. We should have gotten either 9 plus 2b, or you should have gotten 2b plus 9. Either way. Number 12, you got negative 2w minus 14 Number 13, you got 6x minus 18. And number 14, you got negative 4/10k plus 14. Do we need to go over any of those?
I never had time to finish.
It's okay. Alright, let's look at 15. Now 15, they try to be a little bit more trickier with it.
Positive 8 minus 12.
Because they put 3 things here. Let's look at the first parentheses right here. We've got a constant, we've got variables, and a constant. Is there something we can go ahead and put it together to make our life easier?
Also that one.
We can go ahead and put those constants together. We can rearrange this and do negative 7 plus 4. So in my calculator, what is negative 7 plus 4?
-3.
So I'm going to rewrite this as negative 3 minus 2z. And then in my second set of parentheses, I have a constant, variable, constant. Is there anything we can put together? The constants. Constants can go together. Can I do 1 minus 15, which gives me 14 minus 5z? Now can I stack it up and just do it? Yeah. So I've got negative 3 minus 2z plus 14 minus 5z. I got 11 minus 7z. Is that what you got? Okay. Okay. Let's look at 16. I've got 6 minus 2.7 h plus I have a J there. Can it go under my H? They have to have the same variables. Are those the same variables? So it looks like I'm going to have to make another category. Right now I have a category for my constant. I have a category for my H. But now I need a category for my J. I have negative 1.3 J. And I've got negative 4. Where's negative 4 going to go? Under the 6, under my constants. Well, I have these gaps here. What can I put in gaps? What do you normally put in the gaps? When you're doing adding or subtracting or multiplying or dividing, and when you stack things up and you have gaps, what do you put?
Placeholder.
A placeholder. What placeholder do we put? 0. Because there's nothing there, right? And what does 0 represent? Nothing, and there's nothing there. So what's 0 plus negative 1.3j?
0.
Just negative 1.3j. Put in your calculator. 0 plus negative 1.3. It's just negative 1.3j. Well, what is negative 2.7 plus 0?
Negative 2.7, H.
H, thank you. And then I have 6 plus negative 4. Positive 2. Can I put anything of those else together? So is this as low as I can go? So my answer, my expression is 2 minus 2.7h minus 1.3j. This is my answer. They try to be tricky. Some of you almost fell for it, and some of you didn't, so I'm proud. Okay? Alright. Let's look at some subtraction now. So we've only been doing addition. Now we're going to look at some subtraction. Now, we're going to have to go back 2 chapters ago to chapter 1. What was my rule for subtraction? Keep, change, opposite, or we're going to call it keep, change, change. Okay? Keep, change, opposite, or keep, change, change. When we are subtracting, alright, we have to keep the first, change, subtraction to addition, and then we're going to have to change the signs. Keep, change, change. But we only do this with what? Subtraction. Do I do this with addition?
No.
Did we do any of that in any of these problems?
No.
No. We only are going to do it with
Subtraction.
subtraction. Say I only keep, change, change with subtraction.
Only keep,
Change with subtraction. I only keep, change.
with subtraction.
I only keep, change with subtraction. Okay. Alright, let's see how we do this. Alright. We're even going to write it so that we remember. Keep, change, change. And you're going to do it because you just pledged and you just told me you were going to keep, change with subtraction. So we're going to rewrite this. We're going to keep the first. Change, subtraction to addition. And then we're going to change what?
The sign.
The sign. So instead of negative x, it's going to be,
Positive X.
and instead of plus 6, it's going to be
Negative 6.
negative 6. You got to change everything in that parentheses. Okay? Now, it's like we just did. We just stack it up and solve it. So we've got 5x plus 6, and we've got x minus 6. Six take away 6 is 0 or nothing. So I'm just going to cancel that out. It's 0. Harrison, if I just have an x, what can I need to put in front of it? A 1. So I've got 5x plus 1x gives me,
6x.
so my answer is
6x.
6x. Because do I need that 0? No. Alright, I'm going to pay attention to my sign. It's subtraction. So what do I have to do with subtraction?
You change.
Keep, change, change. So I'm going to keep the first exactly the way I found it. I'm going to change subtraction to addition. And then I'm going to change the signs. Keep the first, change the sign. So instead of positive 8y,
It's negative 8y.
it's negative 8y. Instead of minus 6, it's going to be good. And now what do we do?
And
Just stack it up and add it. So 7y plus 5 minus 8y plus 6. I get positive 11 on this side. And I get negative 1y. Is that what you got? It's the same exact thing, but because it starts with subtraction, we have to do keep, change, and then it's just like the rest. Okay? So you have to pay attention to your sign.
When I'm doing it, if I see a negative, subtraction symbol, I know the first thing I'm gonna do is,
First thing you're gonna do, you see a subtraction sign between the two expressions. Do you see how there's a subtraction right here? Inside the parentheses? We're not messing with that. It's the, between the parentheses. Okay?
It's gotta be, because if the first ones we looked at earlier were adding, see right there? See there, all we did was we have two parentheses that are separated by what? By an addition sign. Okay, all those were adding. Now, what we've seen recently right here, or whatever we keep changes, we see subtraction in between our two parentheses. Okay, so when we subtract linear expressions, okay, we know go to keep change, but if we add linear expressions, we just go to reroute.
Okay? Alright, we're going to practice the rest of these tomorrow. I'm going to let you go ahead and put these up. We're going to practice tomorrow.